How long gone? It's a beautiful, chilly Tuesday afternoon here in New York City. Jason, right before we jumped on, our mutual friend David Cho sent a link to Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea doing a cover of Frank Ocean on late night television, where he alternates between the bass guitar, the instrument he's famous for mastering, and the trumpet. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it's the biggest takeaway for me is that Flea has made enough money for everyone, on the business side of his career, where he can have a 30-piece orchestra on stage on television while he does his jerk off solo project where he plays trumpet a little bit, and that's power.
To me, that's the equivalent of Jay Leno just buying, flying a whirly-bird contraption around Burbank, or a 17th century choo-choo train going down the metro line or whatever. It's the same. It's like, I got so much bread, I'm so chill with myself, I'm just gonna do cool stuff that the young version of me would want to do. And real pepper heads know, real chili daddies, real habanero hoppers know that Flea's first instrument was the trumpet.
Yeah.
His childhood instrument was the trumpet. So it's not Andre 3000 just picked up the skin flute and he's walking around the Grove, trying to serenade White House. He's been doing this, since before you and I were alive.
Yeah,
and we old, honey.
I deeply respect Flea in every way, but this is not something I need to see. But that being said, it sounds good. It sounds pretty good. It's just does the world need this? Is the question. But I mean, some could ask that about this podcast that comes out 3 times a week. So I don't think I'm really in a position to throw stones.
Nobody needs us. I think people need us about as much as they need jazz music, which is, it's nice, but if it went away, the world would keep spinning. The Aldi would keep selling eggs.
Don't say that. You don't. There's some people listening to this podcast right now that be at the record bar bringing their own Miles Davis to the bar. They got that Discogs.
True.
They got that Discogs. Good.
We got some parasocial homies who, if you take this pot away. The world is not going to keep spinning without my buds.
What's going on with Aldi? Because I have seen it in the news, and then you just mentioned Aldi, the discount grocer chain from, I believe, Germany.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why are they making the news?
Well, I don't know if they're making the news. I just recently heard some people talking about it. My knowledge of Aldi is whenever I go to Europe, driving in between Italian cities in the countryside, there are Aldi stores. I've never been inside, but it's like a discount food and everything store. I think it's starting to appear in some of America's food deserts as well, and people are noticing it, and people are saying, we're an Aldi family.
Well, no, it's not even, from my experience in Aldi, and I've been in once or twice, it's sort of like, it's not actually stuff you don't want. It's the way it's displayed. It's like metal shelving and everything's still in the shipping boxes. This is not a joke. So they pop the front off the shipping box and you get your ramen noodles out of the box like you're unloading them.
It's for people who are like, if the food costs half the price, I'll put on the safety vest and drive the forklift and load the pallet off the thing. And I don't give a fuck about the merchandising.
I'll do this shit myself.
Yeah. I'll just, which is, that's Costco mentality. That's, a lot of markets do that. There's a place called Super King where I live here in Glendale. There's another one not too far away, kind of by the river. And every time I would go in there, it's just like people are buying shit left and right because it looks like, we're at a military base in Kuwait, and the choppers drop the pallets of fucking Nutella off, and people just have at it, and people just rip the fucking shit out of the box in the parking lot.
Fun. I mean, overall, it's more tactile.
It's like a more poverty version of the Barney's Warehouse sale. That same level of mania for a deal.
I don't go to sales for that reason. I can't. I know. As much of a consumer as I consider myself to be, and as much as people in my life consider me to be, I don't I'm not that desperate for it, which makes me feel good about myself. A rare feeling for me.
But if you stumble upon a sale, you won't say no to it.
No, I wouldn't. No, of course not. But I'm saying like the idea of being like, all right, well,
I don't know if it's of course.
I got to get the Supreme camping chair out because there's a fucking, there's a row sample sale, and if I'm going to be 600th in line, then I'll get in at 10. That idea is so backward. Like, I don't know. I feel like you have to really want stuff to do that.
I think it's not the wanting of the stuff. It's the needing of social activity and interaction whatsoever.
No, that is not streetwear, maybe, but not like what I'm not like a.
No, I think all lines.
No,
like
all
the type
lines.
of person
Not
who
all
waits in line. Don't make me say it, brother Chris. Don't make me say it. Yeah, all lines do not matter, and in line for the Apple Store line or the Gucci store line, that same type of person.
I'm talking about something different. Sample sale people are different than regular customers. That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about the Eckhouse DL Trade sample sale type shit?
I'm saying like if you want a new Chanel bag, you know that it's lit right now because it just came out and you have to line up to get that. That's part of the deal, whatever, unless you have a personal shopper, blah, blah, blah. But if you are going to an Hermes sample sale and you don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something because you're so desperate to be, that's a different kind of person is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
That's all. I think you're right.
It's people so those are people who are like, I don't give a fuck what it is as long as I feel like I got one over on the man.
Yes, as long as I got a deal, I don't care. I will find something that works for me, even if it doesn't really fit. Or I mean, you know this. You're married to a woman. So am I. There's things that have been purchased in situations like that where a year removed, that's going to the real, or you're the woman in question is questioning herself and her own behaviors because like, did I need these gold Manolo Blahniks? Like, probably not. You know what I mean? You probably didn't need those.
It doesn't matter that they were $37 if you're never going to wear them.
Yeah, it does. That's what I mean. I don't have that. I'm not that desperate for it, even though I know there are deals to be had. I know that to be true.
And that desire to have that deal, like you said, it maybe is it a female trait? We'll see. But either way, she get it from her mama. You know what I mean? That's a passed down, inherited
100%,
trait through womanhood of deal hunt. There's that store called Tuesday Mornings. Remember that?
Yeah. I thank God all I got from my dad was a love for shorts. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker won't spend money on anything. He don't give a fuck. He's been driving the same Honda for 15 years. All he cares about is wearing shorts.
Can't get $1 out of me.
That's really it though. We should before our guest joins us, we should talk about your friend rapper Meek Mill, who's sort of he's been entering the TPBN space sort of, and he's gotten into
talking about Claude and them.
He's talking about Claude and them, and I don't mean his cousin that does the crawfish boil. I'm talking about
crawfish boil. Chris.
I'm talking about they don't do that in Philly. I'm sorry.
It's not far from the Maryland coast. At the end of the day,
that's actually true. That's a really good
Ride
point.
That train down. It's not too far.
But rapper Meek Mill he famously joined LinkedIn, which I think is amazing. Great bit. Whether it's true or not, it's amazing.
In. He's like, I'm in. I got accepted.
Okay. He got accepted.
Yo, this business shit easy though.
He got off the LinkedIn wait list, and he's joined up. But now he's saying that he is rapper Meek Mill. This is a tweet from Polymarket, which I hate to admit. Rapper Meek Mill reveals he's been using Claude AI to organize his whole music career as well as other businesses. And people were stunned, asking all kinds of questions. This is crazy. He's a troll. And then Meek has retweeted this and said, recover all business controls, tracking royalties, locating money, finding red flags, planning, organizing years of information, creating family office structure. Okay, Meek.
Wow.
Business navigation. I've been waiting my whole life for tools like this! ! Oh, it's too good.
Look, I was into it. I'm supporting it all the way up until that last line where he said he's been looking for tools like this his whole life. He did not know these tools existed until like 48 hours ago. But still, he's more advanced than we are. I ain't talking shit.
The only tool he knew about he could keep in his waistline. And I think Yeah, I think this is all real, though. I do not think.
Yeah.
I think we have this conspiracy theory brain, and obviously it would be easy to apply that thinking to Meek Mill talking about Claude AI. But I think the AI's popularity is reaching new corners of the world, and one of those corners is the Philadelphia suburbs. He's a mainline girl at this point. He's made so much money. So what?
Yeah.
What do we think? Do we think that Meek Mill? Do you think this will though result in Meek Mill making money in the AI space somehow? Do you think his genuine, his pure-hearted love for this new technology will lead to dividends in his bank account?
I think it's more so just going to be kind of peace of mind that all of his little mailbox money checks are getting tracked down, and his Discogs is all sorted. He's got his mastering files and he's got all of his shit lined up, and just like knowing that and being in control of it versus like giving control. Maybe he's been burned by a previous business manager or a shady.
No.
Like it's nice to have those tools as long as he's not being taken advantage of, because the world can be a little tricky when you start sort of letting these machines run. Like, here's my social, here's my birth certificate and all that.
Do you think he's introduced Robert Kraft to AI, or do you think that Kraft is still skeptical just because he's a little older? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to take a little more motion to get that ball rolling down the hill. But I also saw another Claude tweet that I think I sent you. NFL wide receiver Tyreek Hill says he uses Claude to build an automated payment system for each baby mama. 1st and 15th of the month, payments get sent automatically.
I did see that. That's smart.
People can make a joke about it, though you're using it for child support or whatever, but like, just if you're like, I'm not responsible with money, I'm a professional athlete, musician, artist, whatever. I don't know fucking shit. I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna forget that bill. I'm gonna forget that thing. If you can have Claude do all that for you, and you can just focus on fucking. I mean,
yeah. If I can have Claude pay all my baby mama so I can get more baby mama, then it's gonna work out well for me. It's gonna free up all my time.
I want to keep making more babies without being penalized.
I don't have to pay for these little motherfuckers.
It's peace of mind. It's fucking insurance.
It's been very, very funny. I have to say, it's been very funny to watch, and I think that Meek Mill is one of the. He really is a great internet user in a way that it's Twitter 1.0, where people just said whatever.
Childlike wonder.
Yeah, it's all. I just believe all of it. I believe all of it.
He's living a life out loud.
I'm sure you saw that Illuminati president Jay-Z, Sean Carter, on Will Welch's final.
No, there's a umlaut over his name. It's Jay-Z.
On the final Will Welch issue of GQ. I like the cover. I like the cover a lot, actually.
And you like the images inside just as much, right?
I don't love those images inside so much, but I think that who cares? Covers some magazines. Jay-Z sold out three. He sold out 3 nights at Yankee Stadium, which is pretty unbelievable, because I guess the haters were saying he couldn't do that without his wife. And
so then he tweeted, by the way, a special guest is going to be there, and then put your bees up or something like that.
Nah, it's going to be Freeway. Don't do that. When he says special guest, it's going to be the Locks. It ain't going to be. He can't get Beyonce out there for free. I
need the Diddy hologram, or else I ain't buying the Delta flight.
But it is really impressive, and I think he is the interview. This guy Frazier that we're friends with did the interview, and it is he asks some more difficult questions than I'd have expected. But I find people like this, of this celebrity level, even though Jay-Z's older and more introspective and a little more giving than he probably has to be, I still find it tough. I just feel like those eggs can never be cracked, and it's no one's fault. That's just sort of how it is.
Those eggs can never be cracked. I mean, you could tell by how wise he is by the thickness of those locks, right?
I mean, I honestly, he's very well spoken. Frazier asks some relatively difficult questions. It's like I think that we're so
I like that
desperate for those kind of exchanges because they don't exist anymore.
So you're saying now that Will Welch is gone, GQ's finally asking some hard-hitting questions to rappers.
This is Will's. This is not Will.
I know, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Imagine they get Big X the plug and ask him some hard questions. So Jelly Roll, what do you think about ice for real though? I think that I guess that it's just like, I wonder if we can get back to this, but can we only get back to it if it's sort of this level of celebrity? You know what I mean? Like, is it someone who's lived a lot of life who has this sort of view of themselves? Because I don't know if Renee Rapp can get this introspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if like I think those interviews stop because celebrities have gotten dumber is part of
Yeah.
it. Like they're scared, but they're also dumb. And I think Jay-Z is one of those guys who's lived a lot of life and has had like an amazing career and a lot of ups and downs. And now at whatever, mid 50s or whatever, you can talk about it. And it's just, I don't know if we can get that same sort of stuff out of someone younger.
Well, it starts with one, of course, and he's going to set a great example to other people who are like, you know what, maybe I should be taking a few more risks, not approaching interviews like things I should be afraid of and minefields to avoid and necessary evils, and I just want to stay inside and I don't want to, whatever, interact with anyone. I think it's good, but you're right. Only the people who are at the top of their game are going to accept this challenge, this minefield. Only people who feel like
they're
sort of impenetrable to whatever you want to throw at them. And then obviously there are, we don't talk about Epstein, we don't talk about this, we don't talk about this, and we're all good. We're all good. Make sure we plug Ducey a couple of times and
Ducey, baby. All right, Adam Goldberg, our guest today, is joining us. He was at the dentist. Thank God he made it. Adam Goldberg, you know him from acting, from music. What hasn't the guy done? He looks to be in a studio now. And one thing I want to talk to Adam about is he has a great head of hair, Jason. One of the best heads of hair that Hollywood has ever seen. And I need to ask him natty or not kind of live once we get him on the show just to understand. And also, Adam, before Jason turns his camera, Jason, before we get into this, we actually, you know what, let's just start off the top here. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Jason, over the years, has heard that he looks like you a little bit. Do you see that resemblance? Because I do now that I have you both on screen.
When I have hair, it's more so.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of racist, but yeah, a little bit.
Racist how?
I think you know.
I'm not Jewish, Adam.
Exactly.
He knew.
Exactly. I'm only half Jewish, so that was very presumptive.
Well, you've really been dining out on that half then. Good for you.
I know, right? I know. That's a friend of mine used to say, it's the half that runs the show.
Do you have headphones possibly?
I do. You mean like Bluetooth headphones to hook up to my...
Whatever you have, just so that our voices don't bleed over when we're talking.
I mean, I have tons of headphones. But
it's cool because your response to that question was like, I asked you if God was real. The level of contemplation.
Well, it's trickier than it looks, because yes, I have headphones to record a record, but not to talk on Zoom.
I wish I had a dongle for you right now, buddy.
Oh, I got a dongle for you, pal. Let me see. Hold on a second. I actually do need a dongle.
I know. I was assuming.
This is not something that people see, correct?
No.
Correct. This is audio only.
For the convo.
And none of this audio will be on the show either. So yeah, don't worry. I edit the show heavily, so we all sound awesome.
Oh, I don't know. This might be the most interesting part.
Oh, okay.
The Jewish stuff is staying in, Jason.
Yeah, all the Jews stuff you got to keep in. Jews are really having a great couple of years.
Yeah. Great couple of months.
Yeah. Does that work?
Yeah, we can hear you if you can hear us.
Yeah.
It looks like you're in a proper studio. Is this in your house?
This is my house. Yeah, it's where I made this last record. Yeah, it's like my home studio. Or it is my home studio.
Mm-hmm. What are you snacking on over there?
I hastily melted some baby belt cheese onto some sort of carb-free tortilla and stuck some leafy spinach in there.
Okay, so this is sort of like a Silver Lake jail meal.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never melted the bell before.
Yeah, it's so thick.
I feel like it'd be a good melter.
It took a minute, and it still didn't completely melt, which leads me to believe it's not cheese.
Yeah. That okay. So is one bell enough to cover that whole tortilla, or did you have two bells?
I put two, but it was basically like it looked like Saturn. Like two Saturns.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, the planet, not the car.
Exactly, not the car.
Okay, and why do you have grain-free tortillas in the house?
It's whatever the hell my wife buys. We're real old-fashioned. She does the shopping. I pay for it. You know, this is the
I like
this
that.
is the manosphere,
Welcome
right?
home. Welcome home. That's the kind of shit we talk about here.
That's what I'm talking
This
about.
is a manosphere, except I do the shopping. Like we're manly, masculine, and a little gay.
Right. I hear you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not entirely true. We're both self-conscious about our figure, so I'm sure
Yeah.
that's probably why.
Yeah, but when's the last time you went to the grocery store yourself?
I went with Roxanne recently. It was fun. But we have them delivered now.
Yeah,
So
of course.
I'm constantly ordering Instacart probably 4 days a week.
4 days a week for
Yeah, we have a massive global footprint. I'm showing my kids that if you want something, don't do it all at once. Don't get everything you need for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Do it with several trips so that you're burning more fuel.
I think that's great because I hope you don't drive it. You don't strike me as an electric car driver either. You feel like a real man.
It's funny. Funny you should say that. I have an electric car after years of having cars with engines that I'd like to think single-handedly cause global warming.
What color's the Rivian?
The Riviera?
The Rivian.
It's an electric car manufacturer.
What kind of electric car do you have, Adam? We're putting you on the spot.
It's a BMW. It's a BMW.
Oh, okay. All right. That's actually the tasteful choice.
You got the Larry David one, the little one?
No,
Okay.
not that piece of shit. No, it's one that consumes much more energy.
Got
it was
it.
actually my son, my 11-year-old, who's like a little, he's a vegetarian.
Oh, hell no. You got a woke son?
Yeah, he's woke.
Dark woke, I'm sure, though.
You're telling me you let your 11-year-old son
Yeah,
shame you into getting an electric car?
that's exactly what I'm telling you.
You're not making a good
him.
case for parenting.
What I said to him was, my lease ran out for my other BMW, which was a like an M series SUV, like just
Yeah.
which expended in just an incredible amount of gasoline, and so the lease ran out, and I said I'm getting another car, and he said, you're getting an electric one, and I literally looked this little boy in the eyes, and I go, oh, Bud, his name is Bud. I go, Bud, the infrastructure just isn't there yet. We're just not there yet.
Mhm.
And I realized I was lying to him, because it's there. I mean, the infrastructure, you just get a fucking charger at your house. So I was like, I'll tell you what, Bud, I'll get the hybrid. I'm looking at the hybrid, and you get like 20 miles on the electric charge or whatever. I was like, oh, fuck it. So then I just did it. I mean, and I have to tell you something. It is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is incredible about it?
Well, it's fast as fuck, first of all.
Yeah, they are fast.
The acceleration is fantastic.
It's
and then you never
insane.
go to a gas station.
It was so fast at first I thought it was going to be problematic because you have to the way that you have to operate the gas, and a couple of instances, your head ends up hitting the back of
What if I told you guys that I like going to the gas station?
Mhm.
Let me keep it a whole buckaroonie with
He's
you.
a Southern boy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I want to go every day, but the ritual of going to the Quick Trip, filling up the car, grabbing a $4 Fiji.
Swishers?
Yeah, and back in the day when I was smoking weed, I get Swishers, a lighter. There's something about that feels good. Are you saying you don't miss that?
That's a third space.
I miss so much about the old days that I mean, it's pretty far down on the list of things that I miss. But yes, I miss everything about living in a younger, more analog time. But I will also say that I got that car. The weird thing about wearing headphones when you're not monitoring yourself is that you scream because you can't fucking hear yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what this is going to sound like to people. But
Maybe we can go one on, one off. But like I said, I'll clean it up in post.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like I'm
All right, Frank Ocean, relax.
like I'm singing. There you go.
I don't have my glasses on. Is that you, Bonnie Vare, in the studio?
So when I had that car, I also had 2 motorcycles, which used plenty of gas, and I had a 73 TR6 Triumph, which used tons of gas, and I got run over by my neighbor on my motorcycle, and so I stopped riding motorcycles.
Like your actual neighbor?
My actual fucking neighbor.
Can you explain the situation? Was this in the neighborhood or is this?
Yeah, barely made it off of my street. And she made some crazy, she claims it was a left turn. I swear it was a right turn. But either way, she ended up on top of me, on top of the sidewalk on the wrong side of the street, right out in front of our pediatrician's office on the corner where we live.
Just because you said she ended up on top of you, is she hot? Is she hot?
No, alas, no.
Okay. All right. I was looking for a silver lining.
No silver lining here. She is a fucking thoracic heart surgeon.
Okay. Hopefully we got a little civil check.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. All right. Well,
Okay.
because there are a few guitars in here. I see some gear here. So, okay, how injured were you, and which pair of
That space echo
$1,000
ain't cheap.
which pair of $1,000 jeans were you wearing, and did they protect you?
Right. Funny, yeah, it's true. I was actually wearing armor. You know, I was wearing I forget what you call
Some chaps.
not chaps, not old fashioned armor, the new fashioned armor.
Got it.
So I had it in my shoulders, I had it on my elbows, I had it on my knees, I had it on my hips, but still I had a fucking thing on my elbow that was that size.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if the armor caused it. You know, my knee was all fucked up. I broke my wrist
Oof.
and in a couple places, and it still feels horrible. And it's been 3 years. Fucking feels terrible.
Now, let me ask you this because I like to ask this question to anybody who rides a motorcycle. Do you have a death wish? Like, what is your attraction to the two-wheel lifestyle?
So I used to ride motorcycles when I was 19, and I rode for a few years in earnest. Like I really rode around everywhere in like the early 90s, like to get places. You know, I mean, I had a car, but it was always in the shop.
This is in LA.
This is in LA, and this was also like pre-helmet. Well, the helmet law, I think, came into effect when I turned 21 or something. So there was a couple of years where I'm riding around with no helmet, you know, and that's just a different mindset entirely. You really, and I was a hypochondriac and, you know, a total neurotic from day one. It's just that even as a neurotic hypochondriac or whatever, you still think when you're 19 years old, you're going to live forever. You really do. I mean, you just really do. And so I rode for a bunch of years, and I stopped riding. And then when I was 30, I guess I had my first, whatever you want to call it, crisis. I was living in New York. It was after 9/11. I started to feel kind of stir crazy, and I don't know what. And I bought another motorcycle. I started riding again, but then I felt funny. Like it didn't feel the same. I didn't feel as carefree about it. So I stopped riding, and I only put like a few hundred miles on that motorcycle. I sold it, and I didn't ride again for 20 years. And when after the pandemic or during the pandemic, we moved, well, thought we were coming out here where I live now to work, but it turned into moving out here because our kids started going to school here and blah, blah, blah. So now I live outside the city in New York. And, you know, there's just this kind of, I guess, I don't know if it had something to do with the pandemic, a very late life crisis, or just being in what feels like the boonies, even though it's not exactly the country, where it just sort of felt like somehow I would have some sort of weird immunity. And I don't know why. I was arguably a much worse motorcycle rider than I was when I was younger. But I also started like taking it really seriously and like going like really learning about riding in a way I didn't before. So that became its own thing. So it was much about, so I would go and I would practice in parking lots, which I never used to do, you know? So I was like taking it really seriously. I was really dressed correctly, and you know, I'm a gearhead, so whatever the project is or whatever the obsession is at the time, got to go all in on the gear. And I guess I felt pretty safe. And then I got fucking run over at 15 miles an hour coming up to a stop. And it was like that cliche where you can't, like, you know, where they say that most accidents happen. And this, by the way, was...
And most DUIs.
Oh, right, yeah. And this was, by the way, after a pretty good friend of mine in Los Angeles had like lost his fucking leg in a motorcycle and stopped riding. And it was a week after Treat Williams died, or 2 weeks after, or 3 weeks after Treat Williams died. And around that time, I was thinking like, now there's a guy who just thought like, he's almost done. He's almost done living. He was, speaking of gas stations, that's what killed him. He was a guy was fucking turning into a gas station, turned right in front of him by his house, country road, same situation. Dead. And this was a fluke. It's a fluke I didn't get trapped under her car because the motorcycle did.
Do you think she felt bad?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because no, I didn't feel like she felt bad. And so so I wrote her a letter on the 2-year anniversary of the accident after never having heard from her. She lives 12 houses down.
Well, how did you communicate? Via lawyer? Via insurance company?
Yeah. I mean, you're suing somebody and you're not suing them, you're suing their insurance company. So it didn't feel like there was any personal,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
right.
We don't need to chop it up over banana bread. Like we can.
Yeah, right.
She didn't have to join OnlyFans to pay for your medical bills.
Oh God, that's a disturbing thought. You saw her. I mean, seriously, she would run by, and everything about her was like something out of like like your childhood nightmares. And she would go jogging, and she's extremely skinny and kind of hunched over, and she just reminds me of the kind of there was a neighbor that always scared me when I was a child, and I remember being with my little boy Sonny, and I didn't want to say anything. When
Hold
she
on.
ran by.
Your kids are named Bud and Sonny?
Yeah, I know. And my dog is named Brownie. The dog's brown, you name him Brownie. You have a boy, you name him Bud. You have another boy, you name him Sonny.
I like it.
I like it too. All right, so you got your neighbor. So you wrote her a letter.
I wrote her a letter, and I said, though you might have managed to compartmentalize this, I am still in terrible pain every day. Keep my kids away from your driveway because we have no sidewalks in our neighborhood.
Bet you missed those back in LA, huh, buddy?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to LA tomorrow, and I have this fear, and I'm going there for 2 months. I have this fear I'm just gonna stay. I rented a house in Silver Lake.
Yeah, this sounds like a limited HBO series ready to happen, brother. I gotta say.
I gotta say, Adam, based on this location, I thought you were in LA based on the look of this room only, even though I'm in New York and it's sunny today.
I'm looking at the Hudson River.
I'm surprised that Beacon looks like this on a day like this. Yeah.
I'm looking at
Spring is springing.
Spring Sprung, yeah.
So how do you like it? How do you like being? I mean, because you were in the mix for years. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel retired up there, or do you like it?
It's funny. I keep saying I'm semi-retired. I was on this TV show, The Equalizer, for 5 seasons, and I literally said I'm in semi-retirement, and I go into Brooklyn a couple of days a week, and I sit at a computer.
Tap in with the locals.
Yeah, yes. Our kids run down the street to their friend's house. It's pretty charming, but I'm having this sinking feeling that a lot of it is having to do with the fact that I haven't physically seen Los Angeles in so long that once I'm back there, because I'm from there. I mean, that's where I grew up.
What would you say your prime years in Los Angeles were? Like, when were you out and fucking the most? Like, what period?
Were you a member of the swing dancing movement?
Yeah, but I avoided it.
Okay.
Like, what nightclubs and bars were you riding your motorcycle drunk to?
Oh, drunk too? Yeah. I mean, well, so the 3 clubs was my best friend in the world, who's now passed, Rio. He used to work there, and we would, in fact, speaking of motorcycle, here I'll combine everything. In the 90s, the night of the Northridge earthquake, I had just bought a 73 BMW toaster tank. And everyone rode bikes, and so when Rio got off work at 2 a.m., he rode by, picked me up, and a couple of and my buddies, Nick Cat, who's also dead, all my friends are, and we in front of the Hermoine on Rossmore, where I used to live, and we all drove up to Runyon Canyon. It's getting, how fucking 90s LA is this? And we ride down, and the second we park our cars at Rio's place in Hollywood, I mean, the second we park our bikes and get off the bikes, we start seeing transformers blowing up. The bikes, roll over, and that's how we witnessed the earthquake. But yes.
So that was in what, like 94?
You have drunk 20-year-old actors in Hollywood on motorcycles. That's done. I think our job here is done.
Yeah, that is.
Have you lost that many friends? Is it to drugs and alcohol, or is it just?
No, it's actually it's
life.
Rio died of cancer. Nick committed suicide last year, although I had been out of touch with him for 20 plus years. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people do say that once you cross 50, people you love start dying. And I've been particularly unfortunate. I mean, my best friend, I only went to college for a year, but my roommate got killed in a car accident that wasn't his fault. It's just, there's been too much loss in my life.
Death follows you, Goldberg. Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's you got to be careful, bro.
Yeah, don't get close to me.
No, he doesn't. He's just fine. People around him need to be careful.
Exactly. I'm the X factor or the A factor or the factor.
So every time you would meet a girl, you'd be like, "You don't want none of this, babe.
You don't want to get too close
You
to
don't
me.
want-
Yeah, I give her the Pee-wee line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the loner. I'm the
I'm a
rebel.
loner, Dottie.
Yeah.
What is the now? As a person who's worked for whatever, most of your life, I feel
Well,
like
now it
more
is,
than most
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated at sort of the summer camp of making a movie or making a TV show and how you sort of it's you versus the world and then it's just over.
Yeah.
And how those people, how some people really stick around in your life, most don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Something about that experience is just so singular to me.
Yeah, I think it's a weird way to live. I think there was a lot of, to be frank, especially the last few years, but I pretty much began to think this was a stupid idea somewhere in my mid-20s. But I really started to think it was a wildly irresponsible way to live once I had kids. And I had kids late, I didn't have kids till my early 40s, somewhat late. And for economic reasons, for sanity reasons, for practical parental reasons, it seems like a kind of an idiotic life choice. That you're sort of honoring, or at least in my case, I'm honoring the passions of a 6-year-old who just saw Rocky. That's when I decided I wanted to be an actor.
Sure.
And you're 55 years old, and you want to send your kids to a decent school, and you're like, I'm doing this because a fucking 6-year-old like Rocky. And so, but yeah, and also your life is extremely fragmented. You have, a series of these oftentimes extremely disconnected experience. Now, sometimes there's overlap and you start seeing these people and they're sort of woven into the tapestry of your life. But honestly, the people I'm closest to are friends I'd made outside of the business entirely. Have nothing to do with
I had
it.
a feeling that would be the answer.
It wasn't for a while. There was a decade where like the Dazed and Confused experience was so specific and so, I think, singular, and we all sort of knew it at the time, and many of us were close for a long time, and a few of us were very, very close for a very long time. But then that thing happened, which I'm sure probably happens to people who maybe went to college or whatever, which none of us really did, where you grow apart, or one person starts to kind of get on with their lives, and the other people don't. So there was a bit of that. But it seems like the friends that I have some very good friends from high school, and I have some very good friends from just being like a normal adult. But I don't have a lot of acting friends anymore at all. And it's weird when, for instance, you're doing like a project or something, and someone will say like, don't you, come on, can't you call one of your actor friends? Or no. They're gone, or I couldn't handle being friends with them.
I'm a singular talent, babe. I'm sorry.
Actors are notoriously tough to be around. You excluded, but
No.
So far, you're great, Adam.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So far.
Just a little State of the Union as we're approaching the halfway mark.
musicians I can handle. That's what I have the most experience with, and that's who I spend the most time with.
Yeah.
I would say, as far as like people that have, whatever, professional creative careers. I don't
People with fairy tale jobs.
Yeah.
I don't count content creators in that bucket, only real artists.
Yeah. No, I've had some good musician friends that I've kept for a while.
But I feel like, why are actors such freaks? Because they have to play someone else for money?
I don't know. I think because think about what you're doing. It's totally.
I mean, I think it's crazy. I don't watch movies. I try not to watch any TV that's not reality.
Yeah.
You have to tap into a side of sociopathy that most people don't have access to.
You're essentially a child. You're playing make-believe. You're a child.
With childlike demands.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't want to disparage. I also always thought of myself as I think early on I wanted to be an actor, like really, really immerse myself. And at some point I realized, I wasn't really being given the opportunity to do that. And so when I had the opportunity, I would sort of over immerse myself. And I actually think some of my better performances were in things that you'll probably never have seen, or you'll never see, or won't have seen, because they were smaller. I had a better opportunity, and where there was less pressure, and I was where things were more off the cuff, where I stopped actually taking it quite so seriously. I think there are some people who are born actors. Who are born to just sort of be I don't know, chameleons or something. I always sort of thought of myself as a writer or, even a filmmaker, which was something I was always interested in practicing.
Are you saying that you're an actor that wanted to be a director?
Well, I was saying I was a director who ended up acting.
Mm.
I was making films when I was in high school. I went to Cal Arts Film School for a week, but by that point I had started acting professionally enough that sort of seemed ridiculous, and so I just continued making a living being an actor. And then I made my first film as a filmmaker when I was 24, and sort of hoped that would be it. But it was a very small film, and it didn't do what it was meant to do, I guess, in that regard. It was creatively fulfilling, and making films is incredibly consuming and taxing, and it's and hard, and sometimes extremely disappointing. So I've directed a film every 10 years essentially. Anyway, it's one aspect of my personality, but for people for whom it's all consuming, I don't know what to say about that. It's hard for me to relate to.
I don't know what to say about that.
Okay, you mentioned some roles you took more seriously than others. Ones that we haven't seen are ones where you just played a small role versus a big picture that you had something in. Did you take your role in HBO's Entourage seriously? Where did it rank on the scale?
Well, I didn't watch the show, and so all
right, artiste. You could.
well,
I was watching 6 Feet Under at the time. Thank you very much.
I don't think I was watching TV. That's when
TV. Even better.
That's when TV
even
wasn't
better.
Good,
it was just
remember?
Gaspar No films in the bathtub at that point.
No, I said no to Friends, but my agent said no.
Your agent said no to you?
Said no to me, and so
he
then
said,
then
wrong,
I did Friends.
dumbass. You're doing Friends.
Wrong answer. I don't know. It was because Bruno Kirby died, is why I did Entourage. Bruno Kirby was supposed to play. He had an arc on the show, and then he died, and so then they had to rewrite the arc. So I guess I was his son. I'm not 100% sure, but it had something to do with him dying. I was a huge Bruno Kirby fan, and Doug, the creator of the show, got on the phone with me and explained it to me. I was like, great, but I always felt a little bit weird doing it because I don't know, it was kind of a weird atmosphere, I guess.
You don't consider yourself a tail chaser like the fellas?
Yeah, well, I didn't relate to the guy. It was awkward. I mean, there's one scene where there are these two women and they're they got coke all over their you do it, their tits or whatever, their breasts, chest, and
I noticed you have coke on your tits or breasts.
I was like embarrassed. I was like kind of embarrassed to but I had to be that guy. It's not that I don't know how to play an asshole. It's not that I am not an asshole. I'm just a different kind of an asshole.
Don't get me wrong. I
Sure.
could channel it just fine.
Yeah.
The brand was different than yours.
But I have to say, I think I'm really funny in that. It's one of the few instances, in fact, where I watched what I did, and I think maybe because it is not so different than me or something. I don't know. There's something. I actually think I'm pretty good in that. Someone cut together some clip reel of it, and I watched it, and I was like, not bad. I should get more work.
I should be way busier.
Yeah,
I've known this guy since I was a kid, and he still looks at me like I'm a spoiled prick.
Are you kidding, Nicky? I look at you with awe of all of your accomplishments.
Right? Hey, you know what? I don't care. Truth of the matter is I got so much money now I can sit on my ass and fuck models for the rest of my life if I wanted to, right?
I'm not a model. I'm a singer.
I'm just making a point, sweetheart.
Well, maybe you should think outside your strike zone a little bit more, and
I
magical
do.
things
I don't
will
think
arise.
most people do. There are very few people who think outside the strike zone. This guy, Noah Hawley, who I did the show, The Unusuals, and then later Fargo, the TV version of it. He does. It was always very few people do. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to play Hitman. I was like, well, all right. And you're going to learn sign language. Like, okay. But most people don't. I mean, they just want to see you do what you do, and then there are so many other people that can kind of do what you do. So now you're just kind of
You're not the only neurotic Jew in town at this point.
no, not at all. I have been second. This has been the weirdest year of my professional life as an actor, bar none. It's like I came out of this TV show, The Equalizer.
And The Equalizer is a network TV show, correct?
Alongside one Queen Latifah.
One Queen Latifah.
The GOAT. Okay, we got network. That pays some bills. That fills up the studio.
Yeah, not as much as it did in the old days. In the old days, you got decent. Although that strike, the actor strike, that Cost me half a season's worth of work. And then didn't grandfather in any of our contracts. I think probably benefited a lot more people who then made deals with networks afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what it used to be. When 20
Sure.
million people were watching a TV show.
All right. The mailbox money hits a little differently nowadays.
Yeah. It's not exactly. It's not even close.
But 5 years syndicated on CBS,
I don't think we reached syndication. We didn't have no. It was just enough to consume a pretty substantial portion of my life, but not enough to then allow me to properly retire.
Got it.
Or retire at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
but I came out of that experience like to Rip Van Winkle. I mean, I'd heard that the business was bad and weird, and I should be lucky, and I should feel lucky to be employed. So I would tell myself that I was like, I'm very lucky to have a job. But it's true. I came out and it was like I put myself on tape. Everyone puts themselves on tape. I've done that twice in my life. Part of that was just the nature of my career, but part of that was just the nature of the business. And now that's just all it is. I haven't met a fucking human being in person, related to a show or a project in 6 fucking years.
Because there's a time when you would say, Adam Goldberg doesn't self-tape, and then hang the phone up.
Or I would, and it would just go so badly. It seemed like the wrong thing to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Adam can, but he shouldn't because he's very bad.
He shouldn't because he won't get the job or whatever. It seemed like if I had any appeal, it was some sort of glad handing in person.
Yeah.
Or they just my theory about my career is that if you like me, you like me. If you were having me audition, there's going to be another guy you're going to like better. And that's what's happened all this last year. And it's been 3 shows, at least, 3 projects where the joke around the house is, my wife, she's like, are you in the mix? I'm like, yeah, I'm in the mix. In the mix on this one? Yeah, in the mix. But it's come down to me and some other guy who's just kind of like me or like...
Yeah, who do you think you're losing out to? Who do you
think...
I
know who I'm losing out to in a couple of instances.
It's not the same person.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not that. I wish it were that simple, but it isn't. It's a fairly wide array. I mean, one example is like I put a bald cap on for one audition, which was, and the guy who got it is bald. It was between me and the actual bald guy.
He just did a better bald at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He just somehow embodied it better than you.
Yeah. And then the other one was kind of like, Jewish neurotic husband of like one of the leads or whatever. And I was like, really? They want me to read for that? Like, wow, shit is different. Okay. I'll fucking read for it,
Yeah, because I feel like there's a certain time where they're like,
that would just be a phone. I mean, The Equalizer was a phone call.
Who are you talking about? And you show them, oh yeah, that guy, book him. Yeah, done.
They had to beg me to do The Equalizer. I said no like 5 times.
Did they like go get breakfast with Latifah at the Beverly Hills Hotel, then come talk to us?
No,
like
it
that?
was November of 2020, and I was like, oh fuck, nobody's ever gonna work again. I'll do anything.
What era do you think you were the most financially successful as a creative professional?
Oh, the last 5 years, without question.
Really?
Yeah, that's what's funny is, and on Instagram, when Nazis want to troll you and they say, they invariably or inevitably deride your career status, and I'm like, really? Because I just made more money in the last 5 years than I have in 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because every show I had been on, even if it was more zeitgeisty, didn't pay. It lasted a year or it lasted 2 years.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't have the staying power.
So, I mean, if you're talking strictly financial, I am not still living off the $150,000 from Saving Private Ryan. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. No, you're sure. I mean, I imagine that as such.
No, there was a period, I think, where if they needed a best friend, it was really easy to get that offer and not necessarily even want it. Like, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I was like, really? I played McConaughey's friend in Ed TV, and we were in Dazed and Confused, and they want me to be one of 2 best friends in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I was like, really? And then they told me for how much, and I was like, in how many days? I was like, oh, okay. But now I'm like, what? Doesn't anybody need a best friend? Like, what the fuck?
People not having friends anymore? What's going on out here?
No, I mean, literally, unless it's Spider-Man's best friend.
We can't afford any chums for this project. I'm so sorry.
This guy's a
Right,
solo
no chance.
operator. We can't do it.
Unless you're willing to work for scale.
I feel like you have a lot of hobbies, so it's like I don't know how you do it all. Because
I have a lot of hobbies.
knowing that you have 2 kids, you're definitely like a rich guy, like a photographer. You got a room full of fucking music gear. You're making albums.
Have you ever heard of credit cards?
I've heard. No. I'm unfortunately familiar with credit cards. I guess I don't. I think this is a bad trait of mine.
Yeah.
I don't have hobbies. Like I kind of do what I like my job and I do a bunch of stuff and I am lucky enough to get paid for it. But there's nothing I do that I'm doing just for the sheer love of it because I want to spend my time doing that.
Yeah, if I could figure out a way to monetize making small records in my fucking office and or taking double exposures with expired Polaroid film, God knows I would be doing that. But
you picked wrong, big dog. You picked wrong.
I know.
Even the people who are good at it aren't making money, brother.
Believe me, I know that. I know that it's not strong career choices, but I always did. And, and I had said, even when I was in my, most actory, phase in the, in the 90s and, just finished Dazed and, we were all going to be the fucking, the next wave of whatever. I was like, especially then, I thought it was essential to have other interests because what are you going to do? Take your like scenes for young actors off the shelf and do a fucking monologue in your living room? I mean, there's nothing to do if you're an actor.
You're sitting around a lot. There's a lot of sitting
cocaine.
around. Yeah, cocaine.
Yeah, and I tried that and it didn't quite seem to do the trick. Although every once in a while someone will say like, I did coke in your apartment on Rossmore, and I was like, I don't remember you.
Well, that means you were having good parties, is what that means to me.
No, I think I'd probably have a Polaroid of that person.
Okay, what about a big hobby back then for actors? Vintage Ford Bronco. You have one of those?
No, I never did vintage off-roaders. I had a Ford Falcon, 64 Ford Falcon.
Okay, so you were riding around.
Falcon.
When did you get into jeans?
The year I discovered denim.
And where did you start? Was it like, were you in Japan? You're like, oh shit, or were you like at Self Edge on La Cienega or whatever on Fairfax?
La Brea.
The joke in my house is because I'll say to my wife, she's like, you started that, right? And I was like, yeah, I started Western shirts. I started denim. I started engineer boots. I was always like into like Canadian tuxedos and things. I didn't even I wasn't aware there was this whole repro scene.
Okay.
So I wasn't aware of that whole scene until like 10 years ago. And yeah, I learned about Self Edge and stuff like that. It was when I learned about this brand, the Real McCoys from Japan.
Real McCoys, I said this when because I just went to Japan for the first time actually, like in December.
Oh, see, I've never been.
The Real McCoys
Surprising.
store is one of the best retail stores in the world. It's unbelievable. I love the brand. I like the stuff, obviously, but the store is different. The store is unbelievable.
Well, so there was a store in Soho in New York.
Yeah.
When I discovered, and I was living there at the time, when I discovered I was like, so I used to go to Surplus Mart. So I used to buy my clothes at California Surplus Mart on Vine Street. I get like my Dickies there, and I'd buy jeans from this place, Shepler's, in Oklahoma. This was the only place I could get 517s bootcut jeans.
Look at you! Hey, 517s, man, really having a moment right now. You were ahead of the curve.
Little 517 orange tag.
Don't get somber near your closet.
I just read that Carolyn Bessette wore 517s.
Yeah, you're just like a hot chick.
Why is that in my fucking brain?
Well, you want to know who your competition is.
Get that out of my brain. I read that. I was looking at summaries of recent shows of
Get Carolyn Bessette's ass and denim out of my brain. It's tough.
Yeah, I know. I saw a chick today. I was in the city today, and I was like, I wonder how many people are like overtly besetting right now.
Oh, it's very real.
And I saw one
real.
where I was like, oh my fucking God, it's her.
They usually don't look that good in deface. If you take a closer look, but
all I saw was bright blonde hair, the fucking shades, the jeans, the whole thing. It was right as I was about to get on the Hudson, on the Parkway, and I it was so on the nose. And it's funny because I'd really been clocking it. I'd been thinking about it to see whether, how, like,
Come
the
over,
real
hey
causal
Adam,
effect.
come over on a Saturday. We'll go over to Meadow Lane to go get
Yeah.
some overpriced chicken strips, and I'll show you 100 of those in
Right.
Tribeca on us. It's crazy.
It's so weird. You guys were talking about the apartment the other day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Green Street. Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but like, so I watched a few episodes of that show, and I just started to feel really bad about myself. So I stopped. I think the Daryl Hannah editorial put me over the
Because
edge.
you don't like how she was portrayed, or you.
I guess I just feel the whole thing feels like a fucking, like watching a car wreck or something. It just feels wrong.
Yeah.
I just feel
People
I
are
feel
most
guilt-
people are most upset with the way Daryl Hannah was portrayed.
No, that was absurd. I couldn't believe it.
National treasure, Daryl Hannah.
Neil
you know?
Young's ex,
I know, dude. Wait,
legendary stick woman.
ex? I thought they were still together.
Oh, maybe they are still together.
No,
I
think
just
they're
feel
still
like Neil Young's a tough guy
Don't
to
be
date.
making any news here.
No, I would hate. I don't know anything about Neil Young's personal life.
No, I think they're still together. It just felt like it was so poison penny. I was just like, Jesus Christ, what did this woman do to the fucking writers? Bizarre. Anyway, but I have to admit, I was like, what's the deal with that apartment? So I Googled the apartment, I street viewed it. This is late at night. I mean, shit goes down after midnight, after the kids go to bed and the wife falls
Edibles?
asleep.
You got a little edible going? Start pulling. Hey Siri.
I'm allergic to weed and THC in any form. I was excited about edibles because I was like,
This is your
I
ticket.
used to smoke pot and it made me super congested and gave me migraines. So I was like,
Push through that.
Like what? And so I was like, oh, I'm sure it has something to do with the way it's being processed.
The
while it's inhaled.
carcinogenation or something.
Whatever. I was a big smoker, so I was confusing because I smoked.
Oh, I know you had a pack of Lucky Strikes in your fucking 517s.
Well, I did. There was a period. I was a Camel Light. I was a Camel Light.
Oh,
guy.
Camel.
Oh,
Camel,
okay. All right. Good for you.
Little Turkish delight, babe. You want one?
Turkish Delight. I collected Joe Camel dollars, baby. I mean,
See that pool
so-
table? Didn't pay for it. Not a big deal.
Don't put your beer on that pool table, but it was free.
So anyway,
Okay. So
I don't know where the.
Okay, going back to LA, you
Oh
mentioned.
yeah, dummies. They don't. I had like a half a fucking milligram not the other night, but a bunch of months ago at our friend's house. I was like, I don't feel right. I'm getting a fucking terrible headache. What's happening to me? And that's from nothing. It's from nothing.
Okay. Well, I'm
Such a
sorry
bummer.
about that. But you have alcohol, right? You have alcohol.
I'm gonna try ketamine therapy, but we don't have to get into that.
Oh, okay. I like ketamine a little bit. I've never done it socially. I just do it at home, and it makes me like clean the house and stuff and like stretch. It's nice.
Yeah.
Um.
Anyway, so denim, yes.
Yes.
Were you a blue and green? Were you a blue and green guy?
Yeah, but this stuff's a little. Yes, I love blue and green. But I do more of the normal shit from blue and green. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Sure.
I went through a brief Capital phase until I was like,
Well, Capital. I think the regular Capital stuff is so great, but nobody really talks about it. It's like a regular pair of Capital jeans is great, but
right. Well, this fit is weird. The monkey Cisco fit. It's a weird fit, kind of big in the thigh, a weird taper. Weirdly, on this show, The Equalizer, they let me dress myself. So I was wearing all kinds of crazy ass Capital sweaters and things like that.
and they were paying for it, or you were pulling from your personal collection.
It was a weird cross between both. So it started out they would pay for it, but I was wearing enough of my stuff that in the end it was just easier to wear my own
Yeah.
stuff or get them to buy it, or it was unclear.
You said this ugly sweater was how much, motherfucker?
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You said 800 for the sweater.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I was wearing like a crazy amount of obscure Japanese, whatever you want to call it, workwear, playing a hacker on TV. And speaking of Neil Young, I also somehow they would say, hey, you should play some guitar on the show and blah, blah, blah. So like, they would say, hey, do you want to do a Billy Joel song? I was like, can I do a Pixie song? And they'd say, oh, okay. And they cleared me.
Wow.
Saying Heart of Gold or Old Man or one of them.
What?
I swear to God. Apparently they were like, that's kind of a big deal because he doesn't clear a lot of stuff. I was like, okay. And I'd fucking butcher it because I'm not like a great player. I play with loop pedals and effects pedals and things like that. But I think in that particular case, I was actually just like looping the chord structure and trying to noodle on top of it. Anyway, it's really funny because I'm in my own mini show in this otherwise normal procedural show where the CIA is trying to whatever this and
And
that.
you're hiding in plain sight on CBS, weeknight
Yeah, it's hidden in plain
programming.
sight's actually on at 8 p.m. on ABC. So you're close.
No, we were really hiding in plain sight because the show was like at first it was on at like some normal time, but then it invariably would end up at like 8:13 because of football, or like 8:19, and then they would kind of push it to 9, and then eventually we were pushed to 10, and I was like, I think we're getting canceled here. And
We
then
prefer
there'd
to
be
say
the
you're getting
actors and the
equalized.
writers strike, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer because now we can't do this second half of the season. And anyway, it was a mess.
Okay. Well, you mentioned at the beginning of the episode you're going to go to LA tomorrow for 2 months.
Yes.
Are you bringing the family out for this?
So we had planned a trip for about a year, which I knew was a bad idea. My dad and his other family, my half sisters and his wife, are all taking a trip to Hawaii, and we're going with them. So we're flying to LA for a few days so my kids can hang out with their grandma, and then we're going to go on this little Hawaii trip, and then signed up for these 2 small movies. So basically, I'm stopping back off in LA, and they're coming back to New York, and I stay there for 2 months.
Hell yeah, daddy time, baby, letting those nuts hang.
Well, right, and there's your limited series in a Silver Lake, in a mid-century modern Silver Lake rental.
Okay.
And it's just me and my old, fucked up friends.
Okay, do you use a special service to find this lodging?
No. In fact, it's funny because they're not going to get their shit together in time. I got to start looking for a place, because I was just like, have them give me the stipend and I'll just find something on Airbnb. So I find this thing on Airbnb, and then we go offline and do a side negotiation. It was a complete fluke, and it's like a totally normal dad of 2 who's an architect, and I never, as it turned out, quite. I mean, we'll see what happens, but usually things
Sure.
like that don't work out well.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let me know if you need any recommendations in the neighborhood, any reservations, et cetera, et cetera.
It'll be a lot of Instacarting,
Hey.
and
I've got caviar and Postmates picks as well.
are my Thai places still in business? Simply Thai, is that still there?
I was about to say, if you grew up in LA and you lived there for so long, I'm from Atlanta, and this is how I feel when I go to it. I only want, like, I'm fine to check out the new stuff if need be, but I kind of just want to do my little Chris stuff.
I really don't like going out very much, and I don't really drink much anymore. And I kind of stopped drinking in any really meaningful way when I quit smoking, which is interesting. So I don't really know what to do.
We really need to get that marijuana going for you, bud. It's sort of a non-negotiable.
I know. No, I always wanted to be a stoner.
The fact that you're using loop pedals and you don't smoke weed is crazy.
Listen, I know. It's a bummer.
Maybe if you grow it yourself, and that's the way it's spiritually, like you use your own hands and it adjusts to your gut microbiome and it doesn't make you allergic.
I don't know what it is. I've tried. Here, I'll drop a name just because it's fun, right? I smoked Russell Crowe's pot, and I was like, wow, this is what it can be like. This is amazing.
You smoked the Russell Crowe pack?
Yeah.
Where did you smoke the Crowe pack?
Well, he and I were pals. I mean, we did a couple of movies together, and so I smoked his pot more than once, but there was this one particular occasion.
Okay, sorry, really quick. Was this like 2001, A Beautiful Mind, or was this 2 years ago, The Exorcism, when you're smoking on that Russell pack?
No, by then I didn't want to smoke any more pot.
Okay, that was back when a dime bag was a dime, right?
Literally, the first time was when we were shooting A Beautiful Mind, but we had also been drinking Jack and Coke since we wrapped at 5 p.m. This was the first day of shooting, the day literally after the man wins for
His Oscar.
the Oscar, the Gladiator. Gladiator?
Yeah, Gladiator.
So he fucking wins the Oscar. He flies back to New Jersey or whatever, where we're shooting at Princeton. And it's the next day, and he's starting this movie, very heady period. And we work all day. We get there at 6 a.m. We work till whatever, 6 p.m. And then we go to the Princeton, whatever their bar situation is there. I'm sure it's a famous place, I imagine. And we're all living there for a couple weeks. And he's passing around the Oscar. And I don't, because I'm superstitious, so I don't hold it because I'm still at this point 31, I guess, or something. And I think that there's a possibility I might win one day. Turns out I should have fucking held the Oscar. That might have been the last time I would have had that opportunity. But anyway, I don't hold it. Russell likes Jack and Cokes. Now, at the time, I was a daily drinker, but I wasn't drinking Jack and Cokes. I was drinking, maybe I would have Jack actually straight up, but you could manage, you could see what you were drinking, right?
Mm.
Or I would have vodka, like a gimlet or something. But Jack and Cokes for hours and hours and hours, and then his pot. I was paralyzed. I was up all fucking night, and I had a friend of mine who was staying with me because we were writing something together, and I was like crying to him like my mother, right? Like he had to essentially stay up with me. So I was up the entire fucking night on the first day of shooting of this kind of big movie, and then go to work the next day. And I don't know how much you remember that. Luckily I didn't have to do much in this scene. There's a scene where he and Josh are playing chess, and we're all standing around. It's funny because it's the shot they used in all the newspapers. I remember when the film came out, and I just remember I took a bunch of Ativan so I could because I had horrible vertigo, and I couldn't function. And I just remember just standing there and just staring at this one fucking chess piece so that, I wouldn't throw up or pass out or fall over for 12 hours, just stare at that one chess piece. But Russell completely fought doing the American accent, had just fucking flown in.
That's what separates the
Mm-hmm.
pros, and by pros I mean alcoholics, from the regular people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Also, it's what separates, I think, like Australians from.
Oh, that's a good point.
yeah.
That's actually
American
that's
boys.
a genetic difference. That's a genetic difference.
He's a fucking monster. When we were doing the fucking exorcism movie, he was bicycling to fucking work, and then he would have a pack of cigarettes. Bicycling,
So sick.
it wasn't even close to where we were shooting, where he was bicycling from. I would get out of the car and feel winded. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, there is a certain type of guy who goes for a run or a bike ride and then has that cigarette while they're still wearing their workout gear.
yeah. I used to do it after yoga, but again, I was in my 20s.
Have you seen the pictures? There's the pictures now of John Cougar Mellencamp does this. He's doing sled pushes with his trainer, cig in mouth.
I saw something, but I don't believe anything I see anymore. So I was like, is that AI?
No, it's this whole thing. And actually, it's funny. I saw him walking down the street in New York last week, smoking a cig. I think it's really like this.
He's like Sean Penn level, like
Yeah,
I'm gonna die literally on this hill.
I know. I always wanted to be a real man. I mean, I tried real hard with the cars and the cigarettes and the booze, and it just didn't stick.
we had a good run.
Yeah.
But now you're the ultimate real man, a father, right?
That's true. I did. Although I do have a blonde son that doesn't look anything like me, and
What does your wife do for a living?
she's a graphic designer. I mean, she's a graphic designer for a living, but she's also an illustrator and and an artist.
So she's in the arts, though. She's
in the arts, but
Great upstate job.
very,
very upstate.
very, very.
Go to Cafe Mutton, work on my illustrations. That's not a bad little afternoon.
Yeah, where did you meet her?
In my living room. It's a pretty good story.
She came through with one of the homies, and you were Mr. Steal Your Girl?
Not exactly. My friend.
HVAC repair?
What'd you say?
Is she an HVAC repair person that you just were smitten by?
Let me get a look at this. Stop
my
staring at my
God.
ass from the
Like your
ladder,
work.
asshole.
My friend, we were at drinks the night. It was one of these rare periods. I've almost always been in a long-term relationship. So the longest I've ever been not in a long-term relationship would be like maybe 6 months or something.
You picked the wrong job, big dog.
Yeah, right. I know.
So you're like a reverse BJ Novak. BJ's listening. He's a friend. It's a little joke. He's a little joke.
Oh, that's good.
Carry
there
on.
was this one relationship I had, and she just kept leaving me from whatever job she was on. And finally, this last time was for real. And and so there was hadn't been long. It'd been like a couple of months, and I was out with my buddy Greg, and we were at the Griffin having drinks. And where's that? In Glendale, Outwater?
Yeah, Atwater.
Outwater. And he was chatting up some girl, and she invited him to go see some art opening or something the next day. And my friend Greg had a plan to bring me and another woman so that he could tell which one of us she liked. It was something so convoluted. He's a real like player. Like he knew, like he had a strategy.
He had a plan. He had a mystery style plan.
He said, "Hey, you get the ugly one, all right?"
Right. Yeah. No. So he calls this very beautiful friend of his he had a platonic relationship. This woman named Melissa Keller, who was like she was like a Sports Illustrated model, and but somehow they were pals. I don't really know how this worked out. And Melissa said, "Oh, let me bring a friend of mine." And then that was Roxanne, and Roxanne said, "Let me bring a friend of mine." That was Merritt. So then I had to order a third guy, and that was my friend Julian, who I grew up with, and who was the most nervous and paralyzed by the sight of a woman. And I had to lie to him, and I had to just say we were all going to go to this art gallery. So the girls didn't know what was going on, and he didn't know what was going on. But Greg's plan was, if the girls are attractive or whatever, we're just going to stay in the house. I was like, so we're going to what? Lock the doors like a safe room? Like, I don't understand.
How is this going to work, Greg?
Because he told Melissa we're going to go to this art opening, and then she told her friends that we're going to an art opening. But Greg's plan was we're going to trap them in my house.
Doors locked from the outside, ladies.
Go ahead and take your shoes off. It's going to be
another
a while.
Goldschlager.
And Julian thought it was just going to be some dudes going to an art show.
Wow.
So
a lot of moving parts here.
That is a lot.
A lot of moving parts.
Julian didn't know we're bringing sand to the beach. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. So suffice it to say, I was in the toilet when everyone showed up having some kind of IBS episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally came out of the IBS episode and into the foyer or whatever of my house, and there was this woman, Roxanne, who was Melissa's friend, and she was like the most beautiful woman that I had ever seen, but like not just pretty, like really like from the like everybody who met her, and meets her, just she's like really beautiful from the inside out. It was insane and like super nice, and it was and didn't know anything, like had no idea, had never, she went to Waldorf school. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's basically Amish.
So
right?
She didn't know your little ass. She was like, I ain't seen any of your little arcs.
Nothing. She didn't know anything except some Nick at Night.
She only knew how you smelled.
Yeah. And
she only knew you had a stomach thing.
Yeah. And and then her friend Merritt, and they all played violin, and like so one thing they do, we had game night basically, and eventually we came clean, that they were like, when are we going to this art opening? Oh, well, we're not.
Once they'd had a 6-pack of Dos Equis, you were able to tell the truth.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I was like, well, I can't go out with this girl because, I don't think I'm ready to get married, because it just came out of this fucking colossal mindfuck of a relationship. But I also just met this person that you would normally be like, okay, it's time to settle down. You know what I mean? Like this.
I see.
And so it was a long road to finally.
Guys love this. Sorry, baby. I know where this is going to go, and I'm not ready. That usually goes over super well.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing of it is, she too had come out of in fact, she had moved to Los Angeles with her boyfriend, and they had just broken up. So it just seemed like a bad time for everybody. But in the end, we stayed with each other for a long time, and we ended up, having kids and getting married.
Beautiful.
And she's totally sane.
We still got some time. You know what I mean? We still got some time.
No. Listen, I always said I would break her, and I definitely, I don't know if I've killed her spirit, but I've definitely
dimmed her light.
I've dimmed her light.
She's been maimed.
Yeah, but I feel
she can get away, but not far.
But we're in our 16th year or something crazy. We're not even sure. I think 16 or 17. It was election year, 2008. So whatever that is. No, she's still really.
You gotta figure.
Yeah.
Okay, which Which songs on the new record are about her? Is it Stuck With Me or?
No, there's an entire record that is but there is a whole record that is about her, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Called
Okay.
Stranger's Warning.
Okay.
It's when we broke up briefly when I was given the shit or get off the pot option.
Wow. You and I have the same life. And you said, I'm not in the headspace. And then she said, the fuck you aren't. Ring time, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite Jason stories. One of my favorite Jason stories. We won't recall that here on the pod, but it's a
Another
classic.
Another time.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. Well, I did want to plug the new record that is out as we're landing this
There
plane.
is a new record. I'm trying to think if anything's about her. Oh, there's a hidden track that's literally all about her.
Oh.
It's very specifically, and it recalls this meeting. It was just with a 4-track, and it's 15 minutes after you think the record.
Oh wow, you really are.
So there you go.
Bring secret hidden tracks back, brother.
Seriously, I'll fast forward this CD.
They're on all of my records. They're on all 5 of them.
Okay. So you're not into this. You're true to this. You've been leaving secret tracks this whole entire time.
This whole time, they're little turds. 10 or 15 minutes after the final explosive
A
track,
turd in
yeah.
the diamond, not a diamond in the rough.
That's right.
Yeah,
But speaking of turd, I see we have a kind of a diarrhea brown marble vinyl release. Is that what's going on? It's a swirl. I mean, it kind of looks like, like a high res image of Jupiter.
We call them variants in the biz. It's
Okay.
a doo-doo variant is what we
Doo-doo
would.
variant.
I tried to get one of these guys to do one of those zoetrope things. You know about those
Right.
those vinyls with the zoetropes, but it was too complicated and nobody could do it. And so, I mean, nobody wanted to do it.
Sure, they would have found a way for Taylor Swift, but for
I was
you,
turned
they
down by a bunch of Instagram influencers who use zoetropes. That was a good feeling. But anyway,
So they said best I can do is brown beige
I'm gonna do
galaxy.
shit brown, bro. No, shit brown is like one of my favorite colors.
Sure.
In fact, it's what our friend's daughter calls it family color because everything we own is like some variant of tan.
Family color.
your beige agenda is what we call that in my household. You have the beige agenda.
At the clan Goldberg.
That's another thing. I'm not gonna say I started beige.
Here we go.
But if you go on like kind of Instagram, like what's the sort of subset of kind of, I guess, East Side. Well, maybe there were wellness influencers that became anti-vaxxers, or where everything is. If you look at their whole grid, it's all this kind of brown, glowy.
You're saying that's your shit. You started that.
Well, sad. Yeah, I'm saying that was appropriated. That was
Brown
appropriated.
glowy is what you. I mean, how many pairs of khaki dickies have we owned since childhood? You know,
I mean,
what
a lot. I actually don't wear khaki much anymore.
Sure.
There's too many stains, too many embarrassing stains.
I get it. Be brave, brother.
Yeah.
Be brave.
All that transmission fluid and Dijon mustard.
eat less hot dogs. Yeah, eat less hot dogs.
Yes.
All right, Adam. Thank you for joining us on How Long Gone. We're doing something in LA when you're there. We'll.
What are you gonna do?
We're doing an event with Paul Smith at the store on Melrose. We're doing like a podcast and a party and shit. So we'll invite you if you're.
But is everyone gonna be out front doing that against the wall?
No, actually, we're blocking all of that with our installation. So it's
Can
gonna.
we just spray paint it black?
We've introduced that idea, but unfortunately it has been rejected. But we will extend the invite to you. It would be nice
Yes,
for,
please do. That would
for you
be
to join
fun.
us because you're going to be
I
all
would go
alone.
do that. I'll bring one of my weird Alta Cocker friends.
I can't wait to meet one of your friends. Yeah, no, but it was different back in the day, bro. I mean, you've never Roger Room was cooler then. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Adam. We appreciate it.
All right, guys.
And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Later.
Bye bye.